Hi everyone, how you going? Hope you're having a great day wherever you are. A big warm welcome to. Second, really, I wish Facebook would just show me the details. Um, I had it all right there, all ready to go, and ah, big warm welcome to Chris. Thank you for joining the group. Yeah, I had the whole thing, but I forgot that when you click live, the screen changes and everything you typed as the description of the live just disappears and you're forced to use your memory. So anyway, welcome to the group, Chris. Hope you find a lot of value from all the content so far and what is to come. The whole aim of the group is to help 3,000 people get to a $3 million type home and $10 million type liquid cash lifestyle and the health and relationships to actually support that type of lifestyle. All right. And the reason that is because, well, the numbers part is basically an idea, right? Because when you get to that level, you really need to have more work done on yourself and relationships and the way you look after your health so that you can sustain that. So you don't become one of the people that get to that level, then lose it straight away because you haven't learned how to put good firm boundaries in place in friendships, relationships, etc. So a lot of the time the people that lose the amount is from people coming out of the woodwork and just grabbing and grabbing, and they kind of guilt the person into being able to give it up or something like that, or some version of people pleasing. But the idea is though, if you put healthy boundaries in place, they can't do that, right? They won't be able to just suck your resources dry. So that's the whole idea, is to help 3,000 people in this group and the groups that I've created to get to that type of level of lifestyle and health and relationships to get to maintain it. Because if you're going to have wealth, you might as well have health so you can enjoy it, right? And if you're going to have health and wealth, you might as well have really great relationships so you can share the experiences you want to have with them, you know? Creating relationships and friendships with people that you can trust in your own social circle so that you can actually enjoy the 10 jet skis you've just bought for everyone to enjoy, you know? And those types of things, you know? There's not much point in raising that type of capital and that type of passive income if you're just going to spend it all trying to get your health back in check, right? You're better off just growing all three parts simultaneously, which is what sets me apart from most of the other coaches out there promising this and promising that. I'm not going to tell you it's going to be easy, but it is quite simple in many ways, right? The efforts you need to do can be challenging, but simple in nature. Like, for example, at the beginning of the group, there's the documents of the list of 100 where you go through and you list out 100 of your health, wealth, and relationships as they are now versus where you'd like to be, and plus 100 experiences in this life experience that you'd like to have that don't necessarily fit into those categories. Okay, and the more people that get those lists done, then the more I can actually help people provide more value in the group coaching session, which is tonight at 7 p.m. Sydney time on Zoom. The link will be put in the description below here after, for those who haven't got it so far, where you can help share those. You can help yourself by sharing like several of those things that come out of your list, and we can go over how you can start making plans on getting there. What do you need to do from where you are versus where you'd like to go? So yeah, so big warm welcome to you for the group and to joining the group, and let's get into what I was proposing as the subject for today, which is how progress can help ease anxiety. Right? Now, anxiety is a major part of our life experience in many ways, and especially in this day and age where you've got a TV, radio, and all sorts of other crappy media out there trying to tell you how to be this, trying to tell you how to be that. And not many of them are telling you that it's okay to feel different things. That anxiety is perfectly natural to feel. That it is part of our daily life. It's part of our life experience, so much so that it is an evolutionary trait. It's designed to let us notice the snake in the grass, to make an instant reaction as to, are we going to stand still or are we going to get away, right? So much so that that anxiety experience also creates an energy boost at the same time, which is what caffeine from coffee and tea, right, is actually stimulating when you feel that extra energetic buzz. And when you soothe your anxiety and you heal the anxiety triggers, you'll find that coffee and tea no longer work because there's no anxiety to trigger. Okay, you're actually able to calmly, do things and progress through your day-to-day life with less interruptions, with less procrastination. Because for myself, when I feel a particular anxiety at all anymore, it's mostly when I'm procrastinating. And so I use that energy boost to go around and mow the lawns, clean the house, and do anything but the thing I task myself with doing. Sometimes, ironically, the task I set myself to doing is the live videos. Okay, so don't think that I don't suffer from anxiety at all. I've just learned how to use it in a more productive way more often. It doesn't mean it's 100% guaranteed, it just means more often I've made it useful. So, like the beginning of this video, you would see me stammer a little bit, right? And that's remnants of my anxieties around being on camera, right? Being on recording on microphone. So, those types of things. But the idea here is that progress in absolutely any part of your life will actually help you ease the anxiety, because our body is also designed. So, like when we're like the Kalahari Bushmen, right? They could be walking along the trail, and if they're not expecting to see a snake, then the anxiety of seeing a snake will be there for a moment, enough for them to make a decision as to whether or not they're going to kill the snake, run from it, or stand still. Okay? It's an instant decision making. Like, so it's to give you an energy boost to instantly make a decision and actually put yourself straight into action straight away. Once the snake's dealt with, right? If you've got no harm, no foul, or anything like that, and you're stimulating any other thoughts along the way, then aiming for a destination of a tree in the distance, progressively, as you get more and more progress to that, you get a dopamine boost that eases the anxiety response. So even if you were feeling anxiety as to how far the tree in the distance was that you were aiming for to get to, right, then you would get a dopamine response every like 100 meters, couple hundred meters on the way there, to just give you that extra boost to say you're doing well, you're doing well, you're doing well. You don't hear it, but you'll feel it and stuff, because as you see the tree become closer that you're aiming for, you'll be just soothed, and then you get the extra dopamine and serotonin hit when you actually reach it. You reach your target destination. Okay? But this is all part of the growth experience as well. So as we learn something new and we get to progressively add our skills and abilities together to create something new, or a new result that you've been aiming for, then we get the dopamine and the serotonin hits then too, to also ease and soothe anxiety. And when it comes to our relationships, you'll probably have anxiety around the difficult discussions that I was mentioning yesterday, when you have a difficult conversation that you have to have, right, with a friend, with a relationship partner, or anything like that, or even a child, a teenager, or a dog that just can't say no to barking at birds when they fly in the back door that's left open for them to go visit the backyard. So you can get Really. Gotta love the dogs. Azaria, can you leave the bird alone, please? You try to time these videos, but you can't account for everything, really. So, anyway, so like I was saying, even like something as simple as going around tidying your house and stuff, you'll feel a bit of soothing just from the idea that the house has become tidier. You know, if your anxiety is about something else that's not relevant at all to that. You know? So if you have an anxiety response that you're experiencing due to some other issue or like a thought, a lot of the time you can soothe yourself just by making progress with something else. So yeah, so like progress in anything will pretty much give you some sort of dopamine and serotonin hit. It doesn't mean it's going to soothe it all together, but it does really help, right? And sometimes if you've got an overwhelmed feeling of just so many things you need to take care of, it is the case of deciding on just getting one done and crossing that off. And then getting the next one done and crossing that off. And if you really want to make it an easier process, just evaluate, okay, well, which one's going to be the quickest, easiest task to get done? And that way just tick that off, right? And then you go to the quickest, next, easiest one, right? And maybe do 5 of the absolute easiest and then do a difficult one, right? And you just keep going and you'll get these progressive doses of serotonin and dopamine to help soothe the anxiety you were feeling before of overwhelm. So for example, many years ago, about 10, 11 years ago, there was a house that we were cleaning for our cleaning business, and that required a 30 cubic meter skip to clean that entire house out, and that's just the inside of the house. It was that filthy. And the outside yard required another 6 cubic meter skip to finish off the job for just the yard space. Okay, in the 30 cubic meter skip, you could pretty much fit 3 decent sized cars in that skip. That's how much stuff you can fit into those types of skips. It was absolute filth. Although we did score a good couple $100 worth of Lego and a few other things. But like this place was just filthy. And like in the kitchen, there was a dildo stuck to the kitchen bench. That's how filthy and disgusting this house was, right? And so Kelly and I were like, once we had an assessment of the situation, we basically just chose 2 rooms to get done first, all right? And that was probably the bathroom and the kitchen, right? Got those 2 done first, and you kind of like had these 2 clean spots where you could, 1, use the bathroom for the rest of the job of cleaning up, and 2, if you wanted to stop and have a lunch break, you could actually put something down on a clean surface after everything was sterilized like 10 times and stuff because of the nature of the job. Right, but at least you had those couple of clean spots, right? Then the next task was to basically like connect the dots. Okay, so what's the easiest way to connect the dots? Well, was to basically get that rubbish out, right? And not actually clean absolutely anything else until the rubbish out of every room was out. Once you got the rubbish out, then you could like delegate tasks to each other and stuff like wiping the walls down, wiping the doors down, or wiping the cupboards down, right? And there's no point vacuuming those types of jobs until right near the end, because you need to use the vacuum at least 3 or 4 times just to get any decent result out of the carpets. But the point is and stuff, we could have looked at that entire job and just been completely overwhelmed, right? And there was a job like that where it wasn't nearly as much work, but like there was a job where it was probably about 4 or 5 hours worth of work, but I was just so run down and overwhelmed with everything that was going on in our life at the time that I was literally pulling weeds out down this side of this property and basically like hiding the fact that I was crying as I was doing it. Okay, but like Kelly was actually the stronger one out of the 2 of us on that particular day and kept on encouraging me on, like, you're getting there, it's okay. right? And once we got the job done, then we went home and we just cancelled a couple of jobs for the next couple of days. Sometimes you do need to stop, you know, because at that particular point I'd reached burnout limit, you know. So yeah, there's a whole heap of different things and stuff you can just make progress in something. If you're tasked with a particular assignment, just make small, like break it up into smaller tasks. Like the 30 cubic meter house and stuff, we just broke it up into smaller tasks. There were some rooms and stuff that we did together, and there's some rooms we kind of like divide and conquered. Because like if you're too many people in a small space, then you kind of bump into each other, run into each other. So anyway, so if you can't choose, if you're not sure what to choose, just choose something. You know, you have to understand that a lot of the time when we're just making a decision to do something, it's okay. You can choose pretty much anything to do. You'll be fine. You'll be safe. You'll get through it. Just like with the gardening example or the 30 cubic meters example, there's no actual harm there. There's no, you know, it's just a thing of having to get it done. Right? And really, people may say that you're under a time limit, but, you know, a lot of the time, those time limits are negotiable. You know? And at the other extreme end is a story from a bomb defusal expert. Okay? And you really have to know what you're doing to have a career at that one. You know? And they have a very specialized training program so that they are cool and calm under pressure to do the bomb defusal, to defuse the bomb, right? And their entire program gets the professional out on the other side able to do that type of task. And they're able to do it in a particular way that one of them was interviewed asking, like, you know, after a successful bomb defusal, like, do you find your job stressful, right? And the guy says, actually, no, it's actually quite relaxing, you know? And they go, how so? He says, well, either I get it right or it's not my problem anymore, you know? And that's the way that they look at it. You know, it's like, it's either end of the scale. So either way, they come out of the experience, and either way, it's not a problem. You know, it's either successfully diffused, or it's not their problem anymore. And if we all took that type of approach to life, there would be a lot more people being able to live in a much calmer, less overstressed fashion. And I believe a lot of us would get a lot more done, right? Funnily enough, right, out of all the self-made billionaires on this planet, 85% of them are self-made. Sorry, out of all the billionaires on this planet, 85% of them are self-made, right? And they all kind of think in a similar line to this, right? Where they allow the stress to happen as it needs to happen so they can learn from it and move forward, right? Then they go, okay, well, what's the next stage to this particular plan of action? And they realize, well, this particular problem might be a thing here, it might be a thing here. What do I need to learn to be able to take care of that? What type of person do I need to become so that those things are not an issue, they are just something that's part of the job, you know? And it's very similar, not nearly as dangerous, of course, as the bomb defusal one, but it's a very similar way of looking at things because it's very calm. It's either we succeed, right, or we find another way of dealing with it. So, anyway, so I thought this would be a bit of an intro to this topic. I'll most likely do a few other follow-ups on this one in the near future, and I'll hopefully see you guys in the group coaching later on tonight at 7 p.m. Sydney time. If you enjoyed this, please do #live. If you got some value out of this, please do #value. If you watch this live, please do hashtag live. If you watch the replay, please do hashtag replay. And I will see you later on this evening or tomorrow. Bye bye.